Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting, 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente. It's Tuesday, June 30th, 2015, and here are some of today's trends in the news. What a difference a day makes. That's right. You remember yesterday, markets opened up over there in Asia, way down in Europe, way down in the United States. But today it's a different story. Day began over there in China. That's right. And boy, that cat is high, that Shanghai. Stock surged on Tuesday amid volatility, with the benchmark Shanghai index posting the biggest gain since 2009. Goes on to say, this is from the People's Daily, the country's largest 4 exchange-traded funds that track blue chips reported a total net inflow of about 10 billion yuan on Monday, reported China Fund News, a financial newspaper owned by the People's Daily, raising possibility the purchase made by Central Weijing Investment Limited, the shareholding entity behind the country's major state-owned financial enterprise. The net inflow at such scales was rare, which showed, quote, mysterious capital had moved to buy up at the perceived market low, said the newspaper. The game is rigged, right here. Yeah, the government's popping it up, just like they do everywhere, only a different name. We call it...
Warning, bullshit alert.
They call it OP. Because the markets also went up on the good news that not far away, South Korea factory output slump adds to growth worries. South Korea's industrial output declined sharply in May, citing cold weather. That was it. Cold weather front ripped through. No, that wasn't it. What was it? Weak global demand. Industrial output in Asia's 4th largest economy fell a seasonally adjusted 1.3% in May from April, the 3rd monthly decline, and almost double the median 0.7% predicted in a Reuters survey of economists. Tuesday's data followed a downwardly revised 1.3% fall in April output. The rapid loss of momentum prompted the central bank to cut interest rates for the 2nd time this year. And the government is to deliver extra fiscal stimulus worth over $13 billion via a supplementary budget. So there you go, it's the same thing. More cheap dough. And over there in Greece, no settlement yet. The markets here in the States are up, and then they went down a bit, closing up about 20. And oil's up over 2% on average between West Texas and Brent on the good news of, got it right here, crude overflows at big storage hub. The amount of crude stored at the world's largest oil trading hub has hit a 2-year high, according to data released Monday, in another sign that the world has an oversupply of petroleum that won't end soon. So that was a good reason for oil prices to go up 2%, because we know what it all is. The game is rigged. Over there in Greece, no solution yet. And of course, they called a bank holiday. We're going to have a holiday. Yeah, we're going to rob your pay and pension too. We're going to give it to you. It's a holiday. They make these words up, man. You can't get your money in the bank. We're calling it a holiday. Ah, yes. Mr. Orwell, I know you didn't invent it, but it would have been a good one for you. So now you see these lines of people trying to get money out of the bank. What's going through their head? Didn't they see this coming? Why would they have money in the bank? But they did. The fire in the North Tower is under control. Go back to your desk. Remember they said that one during 9/11. That's right. Not making it up. People can't think for themselves. And that's why we're in the predicament that we're in. Because people keep following their leader, and their leaders are losers. Now there's global turbulence. Will it delay the Fed from raising interest rates? We're just at the beginning of this cycle. I can't predict if the Shanghai is going to go lower or whether or not Greece will get bailed out. Even if they do, there's no solution. The problems exist and they're only going to get worse. So when will the Fed raise interest rates is only a guess. And moving on to some international news, it has to do with the economy. Foreign investment in Israel drops by 50% according to a new UN report. And this is a result, a lot of the effects of last summer's attack on Gaza that destroyed some 80,000 homes and killed over 2,000 Palestinians. And that RAND report says it all. How Israel would profit from peace with Palestinians. And that same formula can be multiplied many times over when you occupy peace worldwide. With peace comes prosperity. With war comes death and destruction in every way. Morally, spiritually, physically, and economically. And Israel is paying the price, and the price is going to rise unless there's peace. Over here in the States, some great news. The justices, the chief justices, another group of low-life politicians that put themselves up on a throne and dress like, they came from the royal days. Yeah. All they needed them wigs on, man, and they'd play the role perfectly. Justices reject pollution rules. The Supreme Court on Monday dealt a setback to the environmental agenda of Obama administration by rejecting the first ever rules requiring power plants to cut mercury emissions and other toxic air pollutants. The court, in a 5-4 majority opinion by Justice Antonin Scalia, why does he have to be Italian? Said the Environmental Protection Agency must reconsider the mercury rules. You know why? Because it didn't take into account industry costs before deciding to adopt them. Didn't take into account industry costs. Hey, Scalia, how about the cost to human life? Could you add that one up? Or you don't have the balance sheet for that. You're disgusting, as are the other ones that voted for this. Hey, you like mercury in your water, don't you, huh? Hey, you little infants, a little dose of mercury deforms you just right. Got some asthma problems? Hey, how about all those other toxins? No, we have to add the costs into it because we become a bottom line society and we have bottom fish thinking for us. Don't mean to be disgraceful to the bottom fish, just a line. And he did redeem himself, however. They're allowing them to use that injection to kill people found guilty and put to death under the death sentence laws in the United States. Yeah, that drug that they give them that causes them all of that pain, and then they don't die. Hey, the judges said it's okay to do that. That was one of their other rulings. Yeah, put them in pain before they die. I say this is how stupid the Supreme Court justices are. Why don't you just have a beheading rule, man? It's quick, it's clean, save money. I know you want to buy those drugs so you can help Big Pharma, right? Yeah, why not behead them? I mean, that's the level of our Supreme Court justices. So there you got it. A nice balanced day. Kill us and kill them. It's America, and let's kill somebody else somewhere because, breaking news also, the United States, 4th Industry Division soldiers are being deployed this year in Germany, and they're sending another 600 soldiers to the regions between Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia. They're bringing troops in all over the area over there, right on the Russian borders. Now, that shouldn't provoke the Russians, should it? No. Who in their right mind thinks that this is going to stop anything? You got these tiny little countries, and we heard Ashhole Carter saying that we're going to be sending more troops and equipment to these countries to deter the Russians. Yeah, you're going to deter the Russians, right? Couple of battalions, so you're going to have the Russians shaking in their boots. But they do this and they get away with it. You know why? Because they're madmen. Bahrain to get more U.S. arms as authorities keep cracking down on protesters. Washington has resumed military aid to the Bahrain government. The move is criticized by human rights groups, which say it takes place, quote, in the absence of any real meaningful political reforms. The administration has decided to lift the holds on security assistance to the Bahrain Defense Force and National Guard that were implemented following Bahrain's crackdown on demonstrators in 2011, said U.S. State Department John Kirby in a statement. He added that the Bahraini government has made some meaningful progress on human rights. Yeah, the prisons are filled with people that they don't like, the Shia against the Sunnis once again. But remember, they don't mention it here, the Fifth Fleet. The Fifth Fleet, that's right, it's stationed in Bahrain. But don't tell anybody. They're our allies. Hey, they could do some beheadings for us probably. They could pick it up. They're right near Saudi Arabia. They'll be able to do it. Let's hire some Saudis to do some beheadings. Get away from these drugs. Let's get clean about this. U.S. support for Kurds in Syria angers Turks. Wait a minute, we're just giving support to Bahrain. Why can't you give support to Kurds? We could do anything we want. Our country's rotting away, and you got a bunch of sick, I know this will offend you, son of a bitches that are destroying the world, destroying the planet, and they can't fix what's at home. The United States has stepped up its military support for Syrian Kurdish militias fighting the Islamic State, efforts that have angered Turkey, a longtime ally and NATO member, which is now weighing new measures to contain the ambitions of the Kurds, including a buffer zone within Syria. They don't know what they're doing. All they're doing is causing more hate, destabilization, and death and destruction any way they can. It's America. Oh, hey, remember when Obama came out the other day criticizing the Russian press? The multiplicity of voices in U.S. media prevents American presidents from getting away with overstepping their bounds, he said, like Putin does. Yeah, what a joke that is, right? Obviously, if this was a state-run media in the United States, whoever the president was would have the ability to make whatever screwy policies they had look good as well, Obama said. Well, here's a little story from the Financial Times. Shinzo Abe keeps the Japanese press on tight leash. When Shinzo Abe, Japanese Prime Minister, spoke on the southern island of Okinawa last week, he faced a loud heckling, but it has done him little political damage because Japan's media did not report it. Such heckling is highly unusual in Japan, so the decision to ignore it by many news outlets, including national broadcaster NHK and the top circulation Yomiuri newspaper, shows how successfully Mr. Abe has cowed or co-opted the Japanese press. Yeah, but you don't hear any criticism. Why not? Because it's just another day of...
That was bullshit.
And this is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's Trends in the News.